Every big name in show business came out for Kamala Harris, from Oprah to Clooney to Beyonce, and she lost every swing state. A survey of Ohio voters found Taylor Swift's endorsement actually had a negative impact, with 24% saying it made them less enthusiastic about her as a candidate.
Come on.
Read the room, Democrats. Celebrities aren't helping, and why would they? In a country where the big issue now is affordability, outside of, I don't know, Springsteen and a few others, celebrities don't strike people as relatable or in touch. And what their activism mostly activates is eye rolls.
Bill Maher is officially turning his sights on his own tribe, incinerating the Democratic Party for its obsession with hollow celebrity influence. He contends that the star-studded strategy intended to lock in the 2028 election is currently imploding. Without pulling punches or filtering his disdain, he lays out exactly why this approach is backfiring. The critique is raw, explosive, and devastatingly accurate. We have every second of this unfiltered takedown ready for you. If you want the truth the mainstream media ignores, smash that subscribe button right now and let's get into the heart of it.
Stars, they're not just like us. They're just not. They fly private. They have 5 houses all over the world. They give their kids ridiculous names. They make candles that smell like their... They wear crazy amounts of jewelry. They buy castles. They buy towns. They buy islands.
Maher argues that the DNC's reliance on A-list endorsements is a massive blunder because these wealthy icons have zero connection to the daily lives of blue-collar Americans. We're talking about a class of people protected by gated estates and massive bank accounts, spending lavishly while the average voter is losing sleep over rent, eggs, and the price of a gallon of gas. In Maher's view, this massive disconnect makes Hollywood stars the absolute worst ambassadors for a party that claims to represent the working class. They aren't the ones sweating in a grocery line or feeling the agonizing pinch of inflation on every single paycheck. When these elites try to lecture the public on what's best for the country, it doesn't come off as inspiring. It comes off as condescending and totally out of touch. Maher warns that instead of winning over the heartland, this celebrity-first politics is pushing voters away, reinforcing the idea that Democrats are a party of the elite. Instead of building a bridge, these endorsements feel like a lecture from a high horse, destroying the party's credibility with the very people they need to win over.
They show up 3 hours late for their own concerts, and people still go. Please, it's okay, you're stars. We like you for who you are. Insulated divas whose talent allows you to pig out on the finer things in life, because we all need something to aspire to. But being talented, which you are, isn't the same as knowing things or having the credibility to advise people on their politics.
This is where Maher really brings down the hammer. He acknowledges that these stars are incredibly talented at their crafts, but being a great actor or a pop sensation doesn't magically grant you a PhD in economics or public policy. Memorizing a script or selling out a stadium doesn't mean you understand the complex machinery of running a superpower or the struggles of a single mother working 2 jobs. Maher points out that the public often confuses the character with the performer, mistakenly believing that on-screen confidence translates to real-world wisdom. An actor can play a brilliant leader or a common hero, but the moment the director yells, "cut," that persona is gone. The danger, according to Maher, is that modern politics is treating these performers as if they actually possess the virtues of the roles they play. That fantasy might work on the silver screen, but in the real world, it results in shallow messaging, misplaced faith, and a political culture built on glitz rather than grit.
You rail against privilege, but you avail yourself of the greatest privilege of all, to remain clueless. Dave Chappelle lashed out at me last month because I called him out for saying there was more free speech in Saudi Arabia than here. Well, I was right. What he said was stupid. America has many problems, including free speech issues on both left and right, but we're real different than Saudi Arabia. If you don't believe me, try opening a lesbian art gallery there.
Maher goes even further, absolutely roasting celebrities who have the audacity to scold the American public while remaining, in his estimation, profoundly ignorant. He argues that the fame bubble is so thick that many stars have no clue what is happening in the real world, let alone in the lives of people outside their zip code. Surrounded by a yes-man culture of assistants and stylists, they mistake the sound of applause for actual knowledge. Maher claims this leads to incredibly uneducated takes delivered with a holier-than-thou attitude. To prove his point, he cited Dave Chappelle's bizarre claim that Saudi Arabia offers more freedom of speech than the United States. To Maher, that is the perfect example of the problem. Loud, confident opinions built on a foundation of zero facts. When a celebrity speaks, people listen, but Maher warns that popularity isn't the same as being right. Instead of clarifying the truth, celebrity activists often distort it, leaving their fans more confused and smugly misinformed than they were before.
Ricky's right. Celebrities don't know about the real world. So Democrats, it's great you have all the big celebs, but people see them as an arm of the Democratic Party, which they already suspect for lacking common sense. I know. I know the celebrities mean well, and we thank them for having their heart in the right place, but just do you. Do what you do so well. Use your extraordinary talents for the noble cause of bringing relief from the problems that ribbons and pins can't fix. I know it's very important to you that you feel that you're making a difference, so let me assure you, you are. You're making independents vote Republican.
Maher insists that independent voters can smell the inauthenticity from a mile away. They see these celebrity endorsements for what they usually are, performative virtue signaling designed to impress high-level Democratic donors and insiders. To the average swing voter, it doesn't look like genuine concern. It looks like a rich star desperate for social media validation and a pat on the back. Maher argues this makes the Democrats look like a troupe of performers rather than a serious political party capable of solving a border crisis or fixing the economy. Instead of reaching out to regular people, the party seems obsessed with clout and the approval of the Hollywood machine. That perception is a total poison pill for independents who value common sense over a red carpet spectacle. When voters feel like they are being talked down to by people who have never struggled a day in their lives, resentment boils over. This creates a massive opening for Republicans to frame themselves as the grounded alternative, even if their own policies are divisive. In Maher's eyes, this cultural elitism is doing more to drive independents toward the GOP than any single policy ever could.
Now enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled. But all the environmentalists of Hollywood and Washington do it. Their position on climate change is, we must do more to stop pouring carbon into the air, except for me when I want to go somewhere and then I take a private jet.
The fury then shifts toward what Maher labels as rank celebrity hypocrisy, specifically regarding the environment. He highlights how many stars build their entire brand around being climate warriors, lecturing the little people about their carbon footprints and plastic straws. Yet, the moment they want to travel, they hop on a private jet, one of the most carbon-intensive ways to move on the planet. The double standard is glaring. It sends a loud message that the rules are for the peasants, not the privileged. According to Maher, this hypocrisy is a total credibility killer. If you don't live by the values you preach, why should anyone listen to your sermons? He argues this behavior widens the canyon between celebrities and the average American who can't afford a first-class ticket, let alone a private plane. Rather than sparking real environmental change, these contradictions just fuel the fire of public anger, proving that for many stars, Activism is just a marketing tool that requires zero personal sacrifice.
Ed and Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of shit, and I'm done being full of shit. I can take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take being a hypocrite. Now, I always justified renting a plane because I only used it for work and literally could not get to most of my stand-up gigs on time any other way. How do you think I did it all those years? I said goodnight here at 8 p.m. and was on stage in Vegas at 10. But I don't need to do stand-up, like tomorrow night in Albuquerque.
Maher does offer one small exception. He realizes that sometimes a celebrity's schedule is so insane that a private jet might be the only logical choice to get them where they need to go. But that is where he stops. He insists that not every vacation or shopping trip is a national emergency that requires a luxury aircraft. Most of these trips could be done on a commercial flight or even a high-end car, yet time and again, celebrities choose the private option simply because they can. To Maher, that choice exposes the rot at the center of the movement. Convenience will always trump conviction. If you truly believed the planet was in a state of emergency, you would accept a little bit of personal discomfort. Instead, the constant stream of private flights proves that their activism stops the moment it becomes slightly inconvenient. Maher argues this pattern only deepens the public cynicism, making green celebrity movements look like a shallow branding exercise rather than a moral crusade.
And outside of heads of state, almost everyone else could fly commercial. Why don't they? Ask anyone who tried to get home for Christmas last year. And don't tell me the younger generation is better. They're not. They're just poorer. They're actually worse. This is who they look up to. The family where everyone has their own private jet. And kids love Bitcoin, which, to determine the value of, takes an amount of computer processing that uses more electricity than some whole countries. Kids could have rejected that, but they didn't. They love it. Why? Because they want to be rich. Why? So they can fly private.
Maher then turns his attention to the younger generation, calling out what he sees as budget environmentalism. He argues that many Gen Z activists present themselves as Earth's protectors not because they are making deep sacrifices, but because they simply don't have the money yet for the high-emission luxuries they criticize. In his view, this kind of moralizing is empty when it's forced by a bank balance rather than a choice. He adds that this same generation is often obsessed with trends that are actually devastating to the environment. He points directly at Bitcoin mining, an industry that consumes more electricity than entire countries and leaves a massive carbon footprint. Maher's point isn't just to pick on young people. It's to expose the massive gap between what they say and what they do. You can't claim to be the greenest generation while supporting industries that are burning through the world's energy. For Maher, it's just another case of loud rhetoric failing to match the reality of their lifestyle.
No one can resist it. John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. It's like if the Secretary of Homeland Security smuggled drugs in his butt. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy, you wouldn't need coal.
Maher makes it clear that Hollywood isn't the only target. He's also going after the politicians who sell lofty ideals they never intend to live by. He believes the decay goes deeper than just actor hypocrisy. It's baked into the DNC leadership itself. This is why Maher says the Democrats are facing a massive double-sided crisis of trust. On one hand, you have celebrities screaming about morality from their mansions. On the other, you have politicians reciting the same talking points without any honesty or personal consistency. The result is a party that appears fake, performative, and totally untrustworthy to the average American voter. Maher argues that when a party's actions don't match its words, the public eventually just stops listening. Voters aren't looking for a virtue signal or a clever slogan. They want proof. Until the Democrats address both the Hollywood phoniness and the political dishonesty, Maher believes their message will continue to fall on deaf ears.
Sorry, not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets. It's true, because then they have kids. I had the first generation Prius. In 2001, it looked like a Tylenol gel cap. I was always handing my keys to valets who were driving a better car than me. I had the first Tesla in 2010, and honestly, both these cars suck.
In its entirety, Maher's critique is a devastating autopsy of the current Democratic strategy. He argues that leaning on fame and glitz has backfired, exposing a massive divide between the coastal elites and the rest of the country. When stars preach values they refuse to practice, and politicians mirror that behavior, public trust evaporates. Voters, especially those in the middle, are tired of being lectured by people who have no idea what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. Maher's message is cold and clear. Politics isn't a red carpet event. Fame and clout don't lower the cost of living or keep families safe. Only authenticity can do that. Until the Democrats stop seeking validation from Hollywood and start building real-world credibility, they will continue to lose ground to those who appear more grounded. In Maher's eyes, the fix is simple. Stop the act, start listening to the people, and actually live the values you claim to represent. And that's a wrap for today. If you want more no-nonsense breakdowns of the news that matters, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel now.